Hi guys, welcome back to your channel Technical Sahil. Before we move forward in this video, I want to show you something. This is ChatGPT. Probably there's hardly anyone in the field of technology right now who is not familiar with this. Anyways, I want to demonstrate my point by giving ChatGPT an simple instruction in two different ways. At first, I'll write the instruction. Run this command sudo apt update, and then I'll press enter. Here I received a lengthy message in response that I am sorry for the confusion, but as an AI model developed by OpenAI, I don't have the capability to direct this kind of explanation I have received instead of the response I was wished to receive. The instruction I gave it was the command for a Linux operating system, specifically an Ubuntu variant, which simply updates the system pre-installed packages and libraries. In response, it informed me that it's only an AI language model and executing such type of commands beyond its capability, and maybe it's correct because it's not an operating system. Now let me delete this chat and in a new chat, and I will provide the same type of instruction but in a slightly different way. I have already prepared the text in a notepad, so I was just need to copy from here. And if you read it, it says I want you to act as a Linux terminal. I will type commands and you will reply with what the terminal. This long instruction I have given in. Basically the task I gave it with the same to run the same command but with a slightly different approach. Now if I press enter, this time it did not write anything like I am just an AI, this is an out of my capabilities. Instead of that, it has showed me the output of running the command on a Linux based Ubuntu system. This is not an operating system. It's a same chat GPT who was returning the different response 2 minutes back. But now it has given me this response. This is what we called prompt engineering. And that's what you will learn more deeply in this video. I try to demonstrate and explain it to you. In the initial few minutes, I'll explain it theoretically so that you understood some terms before we dive into the practical examples on the screen. In case you just get bored with theory, you will skip the directly to the practical through timestamps. That's why I started with a bit strange method of telling you what is exactly prompt engineering. I'll show you its crucial power so that you can understand how crucial it is to learn each pattern and fundamental of this prompt engineering today before it becomes a must required skill in every field. Now let's get into a brief introduction. So guys, this was the quick practical introduction of prompt engineering. Now I will take you towards this guide. I have prepared this complete guide on prompt engineering by myself, and from now we will be following this guide. First of all, as we have already seen practically, let me explain what prompt engineering is through a definition. Prompt engineering is basically a process of designing and optimizing your prompts using NLP models like ChatGPT. And this involves crafting the prompt like we have to see in a clear, concise, and effective way so you can get your desired output. A well crafted prompt is more likely to get your specific response or desired response, you can say. And now, on to the three primary principles of prompt engineering. First up, you want to be very specific. The more criteria you give, the more focused the output will be. You also want to work in steps and break up your task into a smaller chunks, just as you would with a human. So with ChatGPT, you want to do the same thing and break larger tasks and don't ask it to write an entire book. Start with the chapters or start with the table of contents. Go into the chapters, go into the content of each chapter, and then further go into the details. This is going to make a better output, and one of the most amazing part is that you can rework your inputs to have ChatGPT. Like if we forgot to add something with our first prompt, we need to click on this pencil icon to include that improvement, like what I am doing here. uh, Sudo apt upgrade y, and we need to click this save and submit. Iteratively it's improving in its own output. Now let's talk about what makes a good prompt. So a great output all comes down to the data that the model was trained on. Like as I have mentioned in my ChatGPT crash course, its parameters, how it is trained to use the data, and then your output, then your input. So since we can only control one of these, we can't really control the model that it was trained on. And also we can't control the way it was programmed to use that data. We can only control our prompting, our input. So here is what that boils down to: clear and concise language that's direct and ambitious. The persona that you want to assign ChatGPT to act as, for example, like I have mentioned here, I want you to act as a Linux terminal. Similarly, you can write here like you can act as a marketing expert, a biologist, a mathematician, a psychologist, according to your work, the work you are going to assign this model. And then it's about the information and example that you provide. And the interesting part about this is ChatGPT is going to basically remember and be able to reference any of the information and examples in the previous chat history. So even if you are not in the direct prompt, then you are inputting in that very moment. If you are having a conversation and you pasted that information into the chat earlier in that chat history, it's going to be able to reference that data. Next is a specific task you are clearly requesting ChatGPT to complete your desired output. And lastly, on what makes a good prompt is refinement. So once you have received your first response, you can then regenerate until you received your desired response. So that's an overview of what makes a good prompt. Now let's actually talk about the main prompting steps that you want to keep in mind. So you first want to define the goal or the problem, and you want to clearly articulate what you want ChatGPT to help you with. Kind of like what we are mentioning and what makes a good prompt. This is another way to frame it in your mind so you are really clear on it. So you want to tell it what's your goal is, and what's your problem is, what you want to fix, what you want to get answered, and you want to use relevant keywords and phrases that you can input, which will help guide things to your desired response. The next step, of course, is crafting and writing your prompt. Literally, like we mentioned, the information, the task that's required using the keywords or combining everything in step 1 in your specific prompt. Then lastly, you want to test and evaluate itself. So we generate our responses, we evaluate the results, we adjust the prompt as needed, and then we repeat the process until we have a successful rockstar prompt that is created and consistently generates the desired response. Now let's talk about prompt priming. Prompt priming actually is the practice of providing some initial input to the model before generating a response. You're basically training it on a specific data set. So this input is intended to guide a model like ChatGPT towards generating a response that's more relevant, coherent, and trained for the user intended output. And you can use entire pieces of text that you have written in the past. So you could literally paste in, like if you are an affiliate marketer, you could paste in all of your past affiliate marketing strategies and campaign which you have run from the last few months, and ChatGPT will essentially understand how to replicate your speaking style, your tone, grammar, and the words that you use. And you can use that with any type of data. So let me show you one live example that further explain how prompt priming works. So for our first example, without priming, our prompt, my question is, first let me delete this because it's actually acting like a Linux terminal. So new chat. Yeah. So my input is create one YouTube video script on what is SEO for me. It start writing, but it has no context, no data or details on how to replicate my way of talking. So it will going to generate with a random speaking style. Now if I go in and I prime my prompt, like we can say, read this transcription of my previous video, copy my way of talking and communication style and write a YouTube video script on explaining types of SEO in my speaking style. And the priming output is converting this in my way of speaking. So guys, that's the difference between only a prompt and prompt with priming. The direct and simple meaning of this is that before asking something directly to AI, we are first educating it a bit about the subject we believe AI would not already know about it. Like AI does not know how I talk. Each person has a different way of communication. So it was my responsibility to first familiarize AI with my way of speaking, then give it a task that it could incorporate into my way of speaking. This was very simple example and a simple task for AI. Now let me show you a slightly complex example that involves some technicality and a bit of coding. This is a platform called SEO.com which provides assistance in performing SEO audits for website and generate an SEO report. I want to create a similar kind of tool with the help of AI using its API. This platform is new, so I believe AI won't know anything about it. So here's what I'll try to do, I will copy the entire API documentation from top to bottom. Then I will ask ChatGPT to read this API documentation and help me by writing a code using HTML and JavaScript, which will take the website URL from user as an as an input, and when user submits their website URL, the code will use the API key to check the SEO score of the website provided by the user. So as you can see, it has started writing the code. I know that many of you might not understand anything in this example after seeing especially this code, but don't worry, once it completes his response, I will show you how to apply and use this code to demonstrate the meaning of my prompt and its response. I guess yeah, it has write it. Let me paste this code, and when I open this code, it's asking me to check your SEO score, enter website URL and a submit button. I know it's very basic design, but still, the some part of the work actually we need to do. All the things weren't done by ChatGPT. But here I want to show that I have added 0 reports, 0 score, everything is 0. Now let's see the magic. When I enter my website, let's say technicalsahil.com. Sorry, I think we have not, yeah, we have not provided our API key. I forgot to mention. I need to copy my API key from here. Yeah, it has given me your API key option. Without this, it won't work. And I need to refresh this page. Now let's say I enter any website, and when I submit, and here by default it's 0 everything, and when I refresh, so you can see it has created one project and one report as well. And when I log in, sorry, when I open that, you can see it has generated one SEO report using this software. I know this code is not perfect, like it has taken this page, but I was giving this, but this was an example of prompt priming. Like we have to teach before getting an expecting an output from this chat GPT. So we have teach first the API documentation of this platform SEO. Then after that, it has given us the code with covering all the parameters which is required, considering the documentation we have sent it to read. So now you should understand how important and effective prompt priming is. So whether you are training the model on pages of your past writing style or just giving some more context and guidelines to ChatGPT to follow. This is going to help you really start to use prompt engineering and get more effective outputs. Here in this article, I have attached some prompt starter considering different type of tasks. So if you are experiencing any writer's block and seeking from the perfect prompt start, these are just some cool prompts to jumpstart you on the next steps before we really get into the good stuff. So you can just use these as the little bit of cheat sheet when you need some more inspiration. And in the description of this video, you will definitely find some more useful links which include some free prompt templates and starter guide. Now we will see how we can get our daily task done using ChatGPT by providing detailed inputs. This day-to-day section, I have divided this section into 5 parts which we have to explore one by one. The first category is brainstorm new ideas, where we simply tell ChatGPT our desires or intentions only, and in return, ChatGPT suggests even applies those ideas or strategies for us. Like I am looking to explore subject in a format. This is a basically prompt formula. Example, you can take it from here. Like I am working on a newsletter that focus on technology. Can you recommend topics that would be engaging for my audience, such as the latest gadgets? Let me copy this and show you. First, let's delete this chat. Now, if we press enter, so it start writing that quantum computing developments, AI ethics and regulations. It's giving me the ideas and the content behind that ideas, the explanation as well, from where I can get started. Next come the category which is copy generation. In this, we provide ChatGPT with slightly more detailed instruction about what kind of work, what kind of results we are looking to achieve, and how we want it to get done. Like, I need an email campaign that shows the features of my new product. Let's say my new product is, let me find a product here. Yeah, my new product is this bulk email verifier. I have find out. So I need an email campaign that showcase the features of my new product, which is bulk email verifier tool. Now let me copy this prompt from here and paste to see the results what we get, and press enter. So it has started the email template. It has started writing the email template like hello recipient name. I have not specified any name, that's why it has given me this blank. And we hope this email finds you well. We are excited to announce our latest innovation, the bulk email verifier tool. It's showcasing the features like optimal performance, affordability, experience the power, simplicity and affordability of bulk email verifier tool. So it has given me this email template within a fraction of seconds. Next category is actually my favorite category, which is basically a pattern, a method to make ChatGPT as your free virtual employee temporarily whenever you need a customer support executive to reply on emails to your clients, either on behalf of you or your organization. Like, I want you to act as a customer support executive assistant who is analytical. How would you respond as a representative of a tech startup to a customer who has experienced a bug while using a software? So let's paste it and see what we get. So it has given us this email on behalf of our customer executive assistant within a minute. You can also generate analogies using ChatGPT. Like, I am trying to better understand the concept of search engine optimization. Please help me better understand this concept by creating a practical and easy to understand analogy. So let's see with what type of analogies it will generate. So it has given us, imagine you are in a large library with millions of books. You are looking for a book on a specific topic, let's say organic gardening. Without a catalog system on a library to guide you, finding that book would be nearly impossible. It would be searching for a needle or a haystack. In this analogy, the library is the internet. The book are the websites, and the librarian is a search engine like Google. The librarian jobs is to help you find the best book on organic gardening as quick as possible. To do this, the librarian needs to understand what each book is about, how popular it is, and how reliable the information in it is. Guys, this is the best analogy I have seen so far in the SEO, the simplest form of explanation it has given. Even a 10 to 12 grader can easily understand that. Uh, the way it has explained, the AI software explained SEO in quite a impressive way, I can say. Now, if we move to next category, which is bulk copy creation, this category is very useful, especially if you are a social media either marketer or manager. You can generate, or you can say create bulk content for from ChatGPT in one request, or you can say in one input. Like, please come up with 8 email newsletters for my investment site that includes industry reports and data analysis. Let's see what we get. Emerging markets, tech stocks, green investing, cryptocurrency, real estate, bonds, investing in healthcare, global trade tensions. Each newsletter will not only discuss the topic in depth but will also include takeaways and actionable tips for your subscribers. Now, guys, if you remember at the very beginning of this video, I have talked about the iterative quality of ChatGPT. So once we put in our prompt, we get our prompt. These are some of great prompts to use to magnify or improve on those outputs. So what we are going to do here is to use ChatGPT as a memory capacity and the chain of dialogue to our benefit. After we have gone through and we put in our inputs and we get our response, we can then have a follow up prompting for something like, now put the single most important keywords in bold formatic or italic. So it would be literally go through the output and analyze what the keywords are and put those in a bold format or whatever format we specify. Another thing you can do is, okay, great, now organize this by date, location, price, which is something that we are gonna see later in this video. You can even comes up with more novel and uncommon results if ChatGPT output seems a little bit too cookie cutter, and you can even ask it to add emojis to your following text. So if you have a bullet points of 5 items, you can ask it, hey, please add appropriate emojis to each one of those bullet points, and it will add a fire emoji to something that related to that. It will add the green check emoji to something that is related to that, and just is the little bit of cool steps that you can do in this revision process. You can also ask it to explain any output at the comprehension level of a 5-year-old or 10-year-old, a third grader, or whatever you like. Uh, in the previous example, if we see, I want to explain SEO to a fifth grader. Please write that type of explanation which would be easy to understand on that grade level. So it has given me the school example. Like, let's say you are in a new to a school and want to become popular. How would you do that? Well, you would probably try to make friends as many kids as possible. You want to be so kind, helpful, and interesting, so people would like you. You would want to join clubs and teams so kids know more about you. Now think of a website as a new kid in a giant online school called the internet. SEO is like the process of making the website popular in the school. What an explanation for a fifth grader. The example of school for a schoolboy. What a thought. So take some of these experiments with you, see which one you like, and I suggest you that you set them aside for use with your future prompting. Now what we are going to get it now are the set of highly effective frameworks aimed at enhancing focus and the precision of your outputs. So by providing a specific framework, as you know by now, these prompts enable ChatGPT to produce more detailed and accurate responses. And the first one that we are going to talk about is short prompting. This is the simplest of all of the frameworks we are going to get into, but I still wanted to add it in this guide and in your reference. So these three variations have different outputs that you are going to receive from ChatGPT. The first one is zero shot, which is kind of like what I have mentioned before. We are not priming our model with any specific data. So with zero shot, there is no data, there is no guidelines, and there is no focus. ChatGPT is going to take your prompt and go any way direction that AI model likes. So you are probably going to use this when you just want a quick question answered. That's just when you want a quick response and you are not going to actually give it to any parameters. But one and few short prompting is when we are actually giving parameters and specific reference data for the model to use. So even through this one's a little basic, but there is not something amazing framework that we are working with this one. But it's just nice to know that actual term is when you are not giving ChatGPT any kind of special input. Let me delete this chat. Guys, I am deleting chat every time because of the tokenizer. Tokenizer is something, a prompt, a word limit in the prompts, which is combining the prompts we send and the response we get. This is the word limit in ChatGPT 3.5, means in ChatGPT free version we can get 4000 something, and in ChatGPT Plus we can get 8000 something. After that, ChatGPT will send us irrelevant responses of our prompts. So it's good if we open a new chat for a new topic. So if I were to say, write a YouTube script for my tech review channel. That's called a zero shot prompt. When I am not giving it any kind of guidelines, just so you know the terminology. If it was going to be one shot prompting, I would say something like using this specific example as a reference, like in my tech review channel, like example one as a reference. So if you do that, that's called one shot prompting. Now if you moving one towards complexity, like example one, two, three as a reference, that's called few shot prompting. Like if I give it a practical example, write a YouTube video script for my tech review channel, 5 minute on the latest iPhone camera specifications. This could be the one shot best example. And if I want to add few shot, then I have to write start with a 10 second look, sorry, hook, and rotate a photo for each main point. So this is something we can called as few shot prompting. So sometimes you're going to be using zero shot, sometimes you're going to using one shot, or other times when you need a very detailed output for a specific use case, you're going to be using few shot prompting. Next prompting method is chain of thought. It's a great technique to guide ChatGPT to explain its answer in a step-by-step format. This is really cool because you get to see its reasoning process. So this technique helps to ensure that the model's answer are transparent and easy to understand from you, the user, and it's great for making explanation that are expanded upon and more useful for educational and explanation purposes. So rather than explaining this anymore, let's go into the formula and see what's the diameter of the sun. Let's think step by step. And it has given us the output, which is absolutely step by step. Next is tabular format, which basically presents you your requested data in the form of table, like what are the main factors of growing a YouTube channel. This one is I badly need it, but I will try this later after some time. What ask before answer framework is simply does is it's a technique to guide ChatGPT to ask for clarification before giving any answer. And what it does, it is helps to ensure that the model's answer are so accurate and specific as possible. So if we get into the formula, this is another two-part prompt. Like first I am saying you are an expert in the field of whatever industries. I am going to ask you to complete some specific task, but before you answer, I want you to do the following. If you have any questions about my task or uncertainty about delivering the best answer possible, always ask bullet points question for clarification before generating your random answer. Is that understood? So first, let me copy this. consulting business. This is the first part of my prompt. It said, yes, I understood your instruction, and before generating a response, I'll ensure to ask for clarification or any points that may be ambitious or unclear to the best answer possible. Please feel free to share the task you need assistant with it. Great. My question is, how can I drive more sales for my consulting business? Your task is to create a step-by-step guide for me to implement my business strategies. Please ask any questions you have so that I can improve my prompt before you complete your task. So yeah, if I paste to provide you with comprehensive and tailored step-by-step guide, I would be appreciate some additional information about your business. This is what the target of this ask before answer prompting. Otherwise, it will generate with random names, with random blanks, the halfway output as this answer. This format allows the user to focus on the specific aspect of a sentence or idea that's at the end of the day is going to encourage deeper thinking because you are actually going to be filling out information, and this is going to make the answer a lot more initiative or just really makes the ability for me to complete this task and fill in the information in a lot more initiative way. Our next prompting method is fill in the blank prompting, which allows the user to focus on the specific aspect of a sentence or an idea that at the end of the day is going to encourage deeper thinking because you're actually going to be filling out information. So additionally, this is a flexible tool to for learning and communication because of the format that ChatGPT is going to output its content in. Like, you're an expert at creating prompts that generate the most concise and resourceful resources. What additional bullet point details can I add in the following prompt to improve the output? My prompt is, let me copy this first and let's open a new chat. Now replacing this your prompt, I'm going with this example. Now let's see what we get. Your current age and planned retirement age, risk tolerance, other investments or assets you currently hold, and it's generating a long list of 10 points. Okay, great. Now turn these bullet points into fill in the blanks format, which I can put in my information into. There we go. Now it's giving me the information with the fill in the blanks so that I can put my own options. Friends, as we continue to go down this prompt engineering course, I hope you guys will definitely find something useful because these frameworks are going to get more and more interesting and more unique from the standard question and answer format with ChatGPT. So let's get into the perspective prompting, and what this framework can do is to help broaden your understanding and provide a more comprehensive view on a specific topic. And this is interesting because it can, at the end of the day, help you make more informed decision and help you have a more nuanced understanding of complex situations and issues. Like, please write about improving as a kickboxer from perspective of a kickboxing coach. And in the multiple perspectives, please write an argument against genetically modified organisms that considers multiple perspectives, include the name and point of view, the different perspectives such as farmer, consumer, and geneticist. This is something which is very similar to the few shot prompting, because here again we are adding some more inputs with our base input to actually get the desired work done. So this format is also really helpful in such use cases. Next format is really great to provide an objective and expert feedback on your writing, so it helps you highlight areas of improvements and offer constructive criticism of how you can help and refine your copy almost like an expert or writing coach. Let me give you an example. Let me copy this and let me paste and see what types of improvement we get from ChatGPT. It's suggesting me introducing our latest addition to our eco-friendly clothing collection, the Modern Vibes t-shirt. Critique: the introduction is straightforward and gives the reader a quick understanding of what product is. However, it could be more captivating, and suggestion is also there. Try to create a strong emotional connection with the reader from the start. Perhaps start with something like experience the perfect blend of style and sustainability with our newest sensation, the Modern Vibe t-shirt. So this kind of coaching it has given us as we wanted to improve our description in a much better way. Next is comparative prompting, which basically highlights the key similarities and differences across various factors, which can help you make more informed decisions and gain a deeper understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of two different options. Very similar, just copy this example and see what we get. So we get an article with a good differentiator between both Apple and Microsoft. Now here comes the very important prompting method, which known as reverse prompting. This one is really important because we are going to learn how to use ChatGPT to reverse engineering any piece of content that you can find online. So, if you had a speech from one of your favorite writers or authors, you could use this prompt framework, put in their speech, reverse engineer it to get the exact prompt you would like, you would need to recreate that speech. Like, suppose if you are a tech company that sells online products and you want to emulate another company that may be your competitor, that's doing a better job at making more sales because their descriptions and titles are more effective and eye catching. You can paste that, reverse engineer their copy, and learn exactly what prompt is to use to recreate that text. So let's see how to take use of this wonderful technique. These two frameworks offer an incredible insights into how effectively reverse engineer any piece of content. As a result, you can have almost endless possibilities to enhancing both personal and professional projects. So there are two different prompts formula options. One is two steps and the second is multiple steps. Let's go through this first formula. So prompt number one is you are prompt engineering expert that is able to reverse engineering prompt based on the text that is provided to you. I am going to provide you with type of content. Let me copy it first and let me open a new chat and let me paste it here. Type of content, I will say tech company product description. and see it is ready to reverse engineering our content or not. Understood. Please provide me the tech company product description that would like me to base on my prompt suggestion is. So I have already copied this text to save some time. So let me copy it from my notepad and give it as an output and see what we get. So it has given us, imagine you are launching a next generation smart home device. This device seamlessly integrates with various technology platforms such as Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, Apple HomeKit. Upon taking it out of its elegantly designed of charging dock, it is ready for immediate use with your smartphone, smartwatch. You can see the transition, what I provide versus what this bot delivers. So if that another company that sold rather headphones or audio equipments or whatever it is, and you saw that your competition, someone like Apple, is very effective and highly successful, you can go ahead and take something like their product description or put it and reverse engineering like I did. This was from Apple AirPods 2, and see how you get easily and repeatedly recreate their prompts like this. It took our description and it wrote write a product description for this wireless headphone existence and delivers a magical and effortless listening experience like this. Now let's see two very effective but general frameworks that you can use for a multitude of different pieces of content. These prompt frameworks are designed to be applicable to all different types of scenarios while still generating and enhancing detailed and effective outputs. So by providing these specific frameworks, these prompts are going to enable ChatGPT, as you know by now, to produce a way more helpful and way more accurate responses. And the first of these two different types of frameworks, which by the way they are very similar in what they do and their layout, but they are just a different way of wondering the things. So I suggest that you will find one that works best for you and you use them regularly. So the first style, which is actually the Greek style, I could say, is the framework is going to present a structure that can be applied to universally any type of input. And the reason I called it Greek is because we go into the role, the results, the goal, the context, and the constraint. So this is just a very concise way of creating the guidelines for ChatGPT to operate under. So if we have the role, this is ChatGPT persona. And by the way, this is similar to what we talked about at the beginning of this video around what prompt engineering is, what makes a good prompt, and the steps of doing those prompts. This is taking all that information of the basic fundamental understanding and process of prompt engineering and putting it physically into a prompt that you say you can regularly use. So we have at the beginning ChatGPT. It's like you are going to act as an expert marketer. We have our result or our desired output, which is, for example, create 5 emails ending with call to action. We have our goal or the purpose of the output. Let's say the goal is to drive sales for my product. We have the context like who, what, and where and why. The emails are for online audience of entrepreneurs. The email should be friendly and less than 200 words. This is the limitation, the constraint. So this email or these emails should be friendly and less than 200 words. So let's see what we get when we assign this command to ChatGPT. Let's open a new chat. So it has given me 5 email templates with my limitations, with my goals, considering my goals, everything which I provided. So I 100% recommend having this prompt as a cheat sheet on your computer set aside so that you can easily use it for future prompts when you are wanting a very detailed response. Now let's get into our last method of final section for this video, which is I want you to act as prompting. This is the same method which I have used at the very beginning before start teaching about prompt engineering. And the reason I have not covered this point till now, because this is the master prompt method among all the above we have seen. I know previously I have told so many methods marked as important, useful, this, that, but honestly, this method I called as master technique because you does not have to define much information like in the previous methods we have seen so far. In our prompt, we must have to define our intentions, our goals, our path, our ways, the instruction to do the work we are assigning. We have seen, but in this method, you can make this chatbot to act as anything, not only an human, but an operating system as well. I have did it at the start. This framework is another way to really give an universal applicable input to ChatGPT. Like actually, I have another article for this. You can see the formula and example from here. But let me show you one more article I have written. 150 plus ChatGPT prompt free templates. I will also insert in the description of this video the same link. Here I wrote almost 150 plus, I guess 164 methods. Act as an career counselor, act as an pet behaviorist, act as a personal trainer, mental health advisor, real estate agent, act as a dentist, act as a web designing consultant. I want you to act as a web design consultant. I will provide you with details related to an organization needing assistance designing or redeveloping their website, and your role is to suggest the suitable interface and features that can enhance user experience while also meeting the company business goals. You should use your knowledge of UI UX design principles, coding languages, website development tools in order to develop comprehensive plan for the project. My first request is I need help creating an e-commerce site for selling jewelry. Let's see, it will throw us like as an AI, it's out of my capability, or it actually gives us something as I mentioned. I want you to act as a web designing consultant. Let's see what we get. Absolutely, I will be glad to help you design an e-commerce site for your jewelry business. A good website design is crucial. Understanding the business, UI, UX. While I think it won't give me any code, for coding, we need to use multiple prompts. Like we need to go, as I mentioned in the start of this video, if we want ChatGPT to write us a book, so we can't directly say, hey ChatGPT, write this book. We have to start from page by page, section by section, chapter by chapter. Similarly, in coding also, we first need to ask ChatGPT to give us a HTML CSS layout. Then we need to apply that layout. Then we need to ask ChatGPT for some JavaScript, include some libraries, and then PHP and backend functionality takes the place. So this way it will design our e-commerce website. But yeah, we need several prompts, several inputs to give to ChatGPT. Otherwise, it won't design a complete website in a single prompt. But that was just an overview. It's not a coding class. Coding class we will cover from ChatGPT in a separate video. If you wish, you can let me know by the comment section. I will make a separate video which is dedicatedly to retrieve coding outputs from ChatGPT. But for now, this was our prompt for basic crash course on prompt engineering concepts. I call it basic because it is very significant concept, and the more we cover about it, the less it seems. The video has already become quite lengthy, so we will have to stop somewhere. So with that, that's all for this video. I will meet you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself, and yes, stay connected with me through this channel Technical Sahil. If I have not covered any specific method or topic in this video, that left out and that you wanted to know about, kindly let me know in the comment section or via email or WhatsApp. I'll make a special video covering that topic, specific topic. But for now, thank you very much for watching this video until the end.